In 2008, a man walked into an antique shop in southern Taiwan and bought a jawbone. It was heavy, dark, with teeth so black they looked burned. And the moment he held it, a fear hit him like cold water. This wasn't an animal. This was human, but not like us. For years, scientists couldn't agree what it was. No clear label. No easy DNA, just a fossil that refused to fit. Then researchers used a method that reads ancient proteins like a biological fingerprint, made a claim that rewrote the map of human history. This jaw belonged to a Denisovan. And if that's true, it means we were wrong about where these ghost humans lived by thousands of miles. Stay with me, because in the next 2 minutes you'll hear the twist that makes this discovery feel less like science and more like a message from the sea. The fossil is known as Penghu 1. Before it ever reached that antique shop, it was dredged up from the seafloor, pulled from waters near Taiwan by commercial fishing operations. Think about that, a human jaw, sleeping underwater for tens of thousands of years, then suddenly surfacing in the world of souvenirs, antiques, and strangers. And that's where the mystery begins. How does a piece of lost humanity end up sold like a collectible? When researchers finally examined it, the jaw screamed, "Not modern human." It was thick, powerful, built like it belonged to someone who lived in a harsher world. And one detail mattered instantly. It didn't have the prominent chin that modern humans usually have. It looked human, but older, more ancient. So the question wasn't, is it real? The question was, which human was this? To understand why this is so shocking, you need to know who the Denisovans are. Denisovans were first identified from tiny fragments, so little that for years they were more like a rumor than a species. A ghost population, known mostly because pieces of their DNA live inside modern humans today. And confirmed Denisovan fossils are rare, so rare that every new one changes the story. So when a jaw from Taiwan enters the chat, it doesn't just add a new dot to the map. It tears the map in half. Here's the punch. Taiwan is warm, humid, brutal for preserving ancient DNA. It's the kind of place where fossils survive. But genetic evidence often disappears. Meaning, if Denisovans lived in regions like this, we wouldn't find them easily. They'd vanish from the record. So this jaw suggests something bigger. Denisovans may not have been limited to cold caves and harsh mountains. They may have lived across different environments, including coastal regions, which means they weren't a footnote. They might have been a major chapter spread wider than we ever proved. And the wildest part? We didn't find this chapter by digging. We found it because someone bought it. At first, the obvious approach was DNA, but the climate and the fossil's history made DNA difficult, sometimes impossible. So researchers turned to something that can survive longer than DNA, ancient proteins trapped in bone and tooth enamel. This method, paleoproteomics, can identify biological relationships even when DNA is gone. It's like the fossil still carries a faint signature of what it was, even after time erased the rest. And in that signature, the jaw finally began to speak. The protein patterns matched what you'd expect from Denisovan-related ancestry and not modern humans. Then another detail sharpened the story, signals consistent with a male individual. So now this wasn't just an ancient human jaw. It was a rare confirmation of a specific kind of ancient human, one of the most mysterious groups we've ever discovered. A Denisovan pulled from the sea, sold like an antique. Then identified by a lab years later. But the mystery doesn't end there. There's still a problem. The exact date is hard to pin down. The fossil could fall into different time windows, tens of thousands of years old, possibly even older. And both windows point to the same haunting idea. Sea levels used to be lower, which means the place where this jaw was found underwater might have been dry land when its owner was alive. So what we call ocean today could have been a path, a plain, a hunting ground, a place where ancient humans lived. And then history drowned it. Now the story stops being about one jaw and becomes about us, because Denisovans didn't just vanish. They mixed with other human groups. They left genetic traces in living people. They are, in a very real way, part of the human story still walking around today. So, if Denisovans reached Taiwan or lived near it, then the meetings, migrations, and interbreeding events may have happened across more places than we ever confirmed with fossils. Meaning, we didn't misunderstand one location. We may have misunderstood the entire network. We love clean history. This species lived here, humans migrated there. Then they disappeared, but real human history isn't a straight line. It's a mess of overlaps, missing pages, and erased evidence, and sometimes those missing pages are literally underwater. Penghu 1 is terrifying because it proves how much our map depends on luck. One jawbone found by accident can redraw migration routes, which means the map was never complete. It was just the best guess we had. Imagine the world back then. Different coastlines, different islands, different land bridges appearing and disappearing with the ice. Now imagine Denisovan groups living near coasts and plains moving, adapting, surviving in warm places where DNA doesn't last. If that's true, then we didn't lose the Denisovans. We just never had the right conditions to find them. Until an antique shop did what decades of digging couldn't. A man buys a jawbone because it looks strange. He doesn't know he's holding a piece of a hidden human world.